Hi, Dr. Jeremy James. I'm going to take you through a 25 to 30 minute full body golf specific workout using only a golf club and, if you have it, a bottle of detergent or a carton of milk or a jug of milk, something about that weight. If you don't have one of those, maybe a bottle of wine, or of course, if you have dumbbells or a medicine ball, that would be even better. We're going to work on mobility, we're going to work on balance, we're going to work on rotational speed, and we're going to work on controlling rotational force so that we don't get injured. So as always, with any workout, we want to start with a really quick warm up to make sure that we get mobility, flexibility where we need it, and to turn on the right muscles. So I've got a mat here. You can use a towel or you can lie on the floor. We're just going to do a quick 2 to 3 minute warm up and then get into the workout. So I'm going to use the golf club for the warm up. So we're going to go down on our back. And as always, we want to find neutral spine and engage our cores. If you don't know what neutral spine is, please go watch the introduction to neutral spine in the GolfForever program. So we found neutral spine, locked in our core. Then we're going to go up on our heels, grab the golf club, go up into a bridge, and then to work on shoulder mobility, we're going to move that club back and forth, keeping our core braced, squeezing the glutes, and making sure to maintain neutral spine. This is a great way to turn on some really important muscles for golf, namely the glutes, and to get mobility in the shoulder. Let's go down. Remember, as we're doing this, you should be hinging from the hips and your spine should not be moving. Make sure you do not roll down one vertebrae at a time. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do a little bit more difficult version, but feel free to stick to that version if you'd like. Going up into bridge, I'm going to extend one leg and then moving the shoulders, making sure to keep the core engaged and the back still. I'm going to switch legs. If you're doing both legs, just keep going. Back and forth, getting mobility. Great. Let's go back down. Let's do a quick glute stretch to get some mobility in our hips. About 15 seconds. Everything should be relaxed, and as you exhale, open up that back of that hip. Hip mobility is so important for a powerful golf swing that doesn't hurt your back. Breathing as you exhale, maybe pull that stretch in a little bit tighter. All right, great. Let's go to our hands and knees. Now, this next one is one you should do before you play every time. It's an upper back rotation, and we're trying to get mobility in the thoracic spine and the shoulders so that we can have a full range of motion with our swing, so that we can generate fat, high speed club head speed, and so that we don't rotate too much through our lumbar spine or low back. That's one of the main reasons so many golfers get back pain or back injuries. It's from a lack of mobility in the thoracic spine and shoulders. So if you can, sit back on your heels, one hand on the ground, the other behind your neck. If you can't sit on your heels, that's okay. You can be up here. And then we're going to start with the elbow goes up, if you can, toward the ceiling. Your eyes follow. Feel that mid and upper back opening up. Feel the chest opening up. If you have tight shoulders, this is going to be challenging for you, and it's okay if you don't get that full range of motion. Go to where you can, and it will come in time if you keep practicing this. And like I said, highly recommend doing this move before that first tee shot. All right, switch sides, same thing. We'll maybe do between 5 and 10 reps. Throughout this workout, I'm not going to get hung up on making sure we do a certain amount of reps. It's more about the feeling and the movement and mastering the movement and the time under load. So we may be off a few reps here and there. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's go into hands and knees position. In this position, go back and forth to find your neutral spine. Lock it in by engaging the core. We're going to go into bird dog, but put a little twist on it, unique for golf, which is bird dog with movement. So let's extend the left leg, pushing through the heel, toes down. Extend the right arm, thumb up, palm open. Pull that shoulder blade back so that the lat's engaged. And now let's make circles with our arm and then make circles with the leg without moving the torso. Now, the golf swing is such a complicated movement biomechanically. A lot of things have to happen together, and it requires a lot of coordination. And that's one of the things that this exercise builds and works on is coordination. Okay, engage the core, push through the heel, toes down, hand forward, palm open. Let's make circles with the arm and leg without moving the body. And this is challenging. I'm really trying to concentrate here while talking, and it's difficult. If you can't do this, just start with the bird dog, or just start by moving just the arm or just the leg. Let's do one more rep on each side, and it'll come to you. Okay, core is braced, glutes engaged, pull that shoulder blade back, and start making those movements without moving your torso. Pretty challenging, and this will go a long way to building core stability and coordination. One more time, other side. Fantastic. Let's do a quick hip flexor stretch because stuck at home, I'm sure all of us have been doing a lot of sitting. Let's try to reverse that by stretching out the hip flexor. So I'm on the ball of my back foot. I'm going to squeeze what is my left glute now to accentuate that stretch. Pretend like your hip bone is pointed straight in front of you. And as you squeeze that back glute, you're going to feel an increase in intensity in the groin, in the thigh, and in the abdomen. And we're holding about 15 seconds, making sure to breathe. Make sure you don't bend forward. That actually shortens the muscle that we're trying to lengthen. So good posture. Great. Let's switch sides. Ball of that back foot. I'm now stretching my right hip flexors. So again, we want to avoid bending forward. Keep erect posture. Squeeze that glute. Imagine pointing that hip bone straight in front of you. You're going to feel the stretch right through here. If you want, you can open up the arms too. Love this stretch. Really reverses all that sitting and texting and typing that we do every day. Making sure to breathe. All right, great. Let's get into the workout. I'm going to turn the mat towards you. The first two exercises are going to be done in the kneeling position, and we're going to need that bottle of detergent or milk carton or what have you. Now, this first exercise is about controlling rotational force. As we all know, golf is a game of high-speed rotational force. And if you don't learn to use the muscles in the torso to control that force and dissipate that force, it can do some damage, namely in your lumbar spine, amongst other things. So this exercise is about learning how to control that and strengthening the muscles that control it. So the idea here is not to move the torso. We're not twisting, we're not rounding, we're not bending. We're staying completely still while our arms move, and we're resisting. We're using the core muscles to resist that bending and twisting movement that you're going to want to do. So let's pick this up. We're going to bring it into the chest and out, away, slightly up past the angle of sight and back down and over. Up, out, hold for a few seconds, breathe, shoulders back, bring it back in and over. Remember, the torso is not moving. Your core should really be working right now. And if it's not, try to find something a little heavier to use so that this is challenging. Good posture. I'm squeezing the glute of my back leg. That's helping me keep still and stable. And my lats are engaged by pulling my shoulders back. Okay, let's do a few fast without moving. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Switch legs. Same thing. Ball of the back foot in an athletic position. We're going to grab this. Nice, erect, tall posture. Pull it into the chest. Out above the line of sight. Back to the chest. Over. Let's go in. Hold. Brace the core. Shoulders back and down. Squeezing the glute of the back leg. In. Down. Again. Hold. Down. Over. Again. Hold. Your core should be working. No twisting, bending. Let's do 10 fast. Ready? Set your posture. Nice firm core. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. You should feel your core awake now. Those muscles are working. Sorry, let's keep this out for one more. The next one we're going to do is going to turn on the glutes. And again, Strong glutes give us powerful hips. Powerful hips mean fast club head speed. So all of these exercises, I keep talking about the glutes. It's because they're so important to golf. Okay, so I'll show you from a side view. On the balls of my feet here, and I'm sitting on my heels, and I'm gonna grip it like this, and as I come up, I'm squeezing my butt, pressing this overhead, getting good shoulder mobility, and also working the glutes up. Now you should be hinging from the hips, no movement in the low back. We're not rounding our back, we're not extending our back. It's staying still by keeping the core engaged. Now let's do a few with speed. Push, squeeze the glutes, shoulders down and back, and down. Push, squeeze the glutes. Squeeze, good. Hold, breathe. Strong muscles, everything in your body should be activated right now. Core, lats, glutes, up. Squeezing the glutes. Up. Back down. Remember, hinging from the hips. This is your axis of movement. Not here, not here. Let's do a few more. Squeeze the glutes up. One more. Up. Hold. Well done. Okay, we're going to put this away from now and stand up. Before we get into some of the more movement-based exercises with the golf club, we want to turn on all the muscles in our body, our core, our lats, glutes, make sure that they're all awake and working. Now, this should be challenging. It looks easy, but it's not. Feet shoulder width apart, bend your knees, your butt's slightly out behind you, but your knees are not shifted forward. Hands on your thighs, shoulders down and back, and push. Push hard. Hold that contraction and breathe. Your shoulders should be down and back, pulling them towards your back pockets, pulling your shoulder blades towards your back pockets, and really pushing into your thighs. This is work. I feel almost every muscle in my body working right now. And relax. Take a few breaths. Feel those muscles turn on. Let's do this again. Shoulders back and down. Push. Hold. Make sure to breathe. You should feel a great contraction in your lats, in your core, in your glutes, in your quads. Relax. We're going to do one more. Think about how you feel already through this. I know I feel all the muscles in my body are awake. My brain is in sync with them. Think about how this changes your golf game compared to just walking up cold off the couch. It makes so much difference. Let's do one more. Feet shoulder width apart, hands on the thighs, shoulders down and back, push, breathe. And relax. Well done. Now, I know I'm definitely woken up, and I hope you are too. Let's work on some balance. As you hear us say very often in the GolfForever program, balance is one of the most underrated and often overlooked aspects of golf training. You have to have good balance to have a great swing and to be able to do it consistently. So for those of you whose balance needs a little work, we have our golf club here as an aid. For those of you who don't want to use this, that's fine. I'll show both ways. Let's start by just standing on one leg. If you don't need the club, drop it. Now this is where it gets harder. Let's turn our heads side to side. And if you need that club, pick it back up. I'm showing it without the club, but with the club, it looks like this. Now we're training all aspects of our body required for balance. Proprioceptive system, that's the cells in our legs and arms that tell our brain where our body is in space with our eyes closed. That's how I know my hand is over here. It's our visual system, and it's our vestibular system in our ears. That's why we're turning our heads to kind of challenge that stuff. On the other leg, brace. A lot of your balance comes from here, so make sure your shoulders are back, you got good posture, and your core is engaged. Now let's look left to right. It's okay if your ankle wobbles. That's normal, and it's going to happen. Drop that club if you're comfortable with it. And see, my ankle is wobbling, and that's okay. But most of my stability comes from here and here. Okay, great. Let's pick that club back up and do a little more balance work as well as mobility. This is just going to be a hip swing, getting a bit of a stretch in the hamstring, but also working on balance. So if you'd like the golf club as an aid, go for it. Keep your body still. And notice I'm not leaning back or bending forward. Nice tall posture. We want the movement to come from the hip joint. Again, if you're comfortable with it, you don't have to use the club. And we're just going to do maybe 10 to 12 on each side. Switch legs. Keep the legs straight. Only come up as high as you can without moving your body. You should feel a stretch in the hamstring. You don't need the club. You don't have to use it. Okay, let's work on those glutes again and our shoulder mobility. Two very, very important things for golf. So this is similar to what we did in the kneeling position. Now we're going to do it standing, and it's important to do exercises in different positions because it orients the muscles in different ways. And golf is such a unique movement that you want to challenge your muscles in many different ways. So this is going to be squat to overhead press with the club. Now, as a reminder for good squat form, the glutes should be working more than the thighs. So to remember, we're going to have our feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to pretend like we have a piece of paper between our feet that we want to rip in half as we come up. So as you rise from a squat position, you're pushing outward into the floor with your heels, squeezing your butt. So from a side view, it looks like this. Now notice that my knees are not shifting forward over my toes. My butt's dropping back. And as I come up, I'm gonna rip that piece of paper, squeezing my butt. Okay, ready? I'm gonna show you side view. We're gonna press the club overhead. Let's go. Let's do about 15 to 20. Squat back, press up overhead. You should feel the glutes working right here. As you come up, they should be doing more work than your thighs. And if they're not, you need to go back to your daily routines in GolfForever and do some remedial work. Practicing the squat pattern, practice the bridge. The bridge is a precursor to the squat. Great. You should feel those shoulders opening up, the glutes really working. Keep going. I'm going to show you a front view. Don't let the knees buckle in like this. Keep them centered over your ankles, dropping the butt back. Good posture. Don't let the shoulders come up towards the ears. Keep the shoulders down and back. And good. Now this next one is another glute strengthening and hip mobility exercise. And they're going to do two versions of it. I love this exercise. Also helps with balance. The first part of it, we're going to do a step back, kind of a curtsy to knee raise. And if you need the club as an aid, go for it. Step back, my navel stays pointed forward. I'm not twisting my body. As I come up, boy, you should feel that glute burning. I know I am already. And if you don't need to use the club, now we're really working on our balance as well. Keeping good posture. Notice my shoulders stay down and back. Core is engaged. I'm looking straight ahead, not at the floor. Let's do a few more. Getting a good burn in there. Great. Switch sides. Again, navel stays pointed forward. So drop the hip back and then bring the knee up. Really feeling it. Right here as you push off, you should feel that muscle really contracting and burning a bit. This is a great exercise for golf. I know I'm saying that about a lot of these. It's because they all are. This stuff will really improve your game and make you feel better and keep you from getting hurt. If you're confident to do it without the club, go for it. Right. Now this next one, it's called Curtsy the Queen, and it's an advanced version of what we just did. So for those of you who need help with balance, you can start by using the club. This time, when we step up, we're going to kick the leg out and the arm out. And now I'm feeling the glutes of this leg really working. We're going to hold. So step back, out, hold. Let's hold for a few seconds. Breathe. Back, keeping that navel pointed forward. Out, hold. Now for those of you more advanced, you want to work on your balance, let's come down here using the club. Hold. Very challenging. You can see my leg is shaking. My ankle's wobbling, and that's okay. That's part of working on balance. Hold. Step back. Hold. Step back, hold. Step back and hold. Great job. Man, feel how quickly your balance can improve in just one workout. Balance is one of those things, if you don't train it, you do lose it, and it will affect your game. Okay, let's do the other side. So this time, we're going to step back, and this leg kicks out. And this is the easier version, using the club for balance. Keeping that navel pointed forward. Hold. You should feel a good burn in there. Hold. Now for the more advanced. And this is challenging. If you can't do this yet, that's okay. You keep practicing. Use the club for assistance, and you will improve. Most of you will likely be able to get to this at some point, and if you can't get to it, that's okay too. You're still getting so much benefit out of this. I am building strength in my glutes, working on my balance, and I'm increasing my hip mobility. Let's do one more. All right, great. I'm going to take it down to the ground for a minute and work on some upper body strength and core strength, both of which are also important for golf. We're going to start with some push-ups, and I want you to think of the push-up as a moving plank. So when we're doing a push-up, first of all, our arms aren't out like this. Our arms are into our sides. That protects the rotator cuff. Second of all, the body should not move. It's a plank with movement, and the only thing that's moving are the shoulders and elbows. So 3 versions. If you have difficulty with push-ups, you can do push-ups on knees, but still, you'll notice my body, my torso is staying still. Option 2, push-ups on the toes. Option 3, one leg up. Okay, I'm going to do the leg up because it's an enhanced version of the push-up that works on your core stability and balance as well. You do what's best for your body. We're going to do 6 on each side, or a total of 12 if you're not doing one leg up. Ready? Shoulders back towards the spine. Foot up, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great job. Challenging. I'm feeling it now, and you should too. All the muscles in my body are awake. I feel them. I can feel good mobility in my shoulders, my hips. This next one's going to be a side plank, and we're going to use the golf club. If you can't do a side plank, you can do side plank on your knees, which looks like this. Knees are stacked, and you only come up to the knees. For the rest of you that can, let's do a side plank. Top foot in front of bottom foot. We're going to use the club to pull our shoulder blade back towards our spine as we're in side plank position. So we're keeping the body still and controlling that rotational force. Another exercise where we're controlling rotational force. Okay, pull that shoulder back. Pull that shoulder back and down towards the spine. Brace your core. And remember, with our side planks, we shift our hips forward. Right, ready? Forward, up. And we're going to move the golf club back and forward, keeping our body still. Nothing should be moving but your arm. And if you can only do side plank or side plank on your knees without the club, that's fine. Stick with that version. Okay, rest. We'll do one more set. Remember, as we do side plank, when we go down, we sit back. When we come up, we shift forward. Up, shift the hips forward. Pull that shoulder blade back towards the spine. Keeping the body still. This is a great exercise for core strength, stability, and controlling rotational force. Great job. Switch sides. Again, you can do side plank on your knees, and you can just hold it. You can move your arm without the golf club, or keep your arms still. Okay, top foot in front of bottom foot. Shoulder back towards the spine. Grip the golf club. Shift the hips up and forward. And let's go. Pulling that shoulder blade back towards the spine. Getting a good contraction between the spine and the shoulder blade. Nothing's moving but my arm. Learning to control this rotational force and building core strength. All right, let's sit back and do one more. Core is engaged, shoulder down and back. Shift the hips forward. Here we go. We'll do about 3 or 4 more, keeping the body still. Okay, sit back. Well done. Let's do one more on the ground, and then we're going to put it all together for a rotational movement that does mimic the golf swing. So we're going to use the club one more time to do a plank, pulling the club back and forth, keeping the torso totally still. So like the kneeling rotational move, this is also controlling rotational force. We're going to be in a plank, and we want to keep our body from twisting. So get in your plank position. We're going to do it on our hands. And if you can't do this, that's okay. You can just hold plank, or you can do plank on your knees. But for the rest of you, we're going to get into plank position, shoulders back towards our spine, and pull that club back and forth without moving your body. So it's really difficult not to twist. You got to keep that core locked down. And I'm really concentrating here, and this is challenging, not to move my body. Let's do a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Whew. All right, I got a bit of a sweat going. I hope that you do too. We're going to wrap this up by doing a rotational movement. Think about how you feel now. I don't know about you, but I feel like I could get out there and just crush it after doing something like this. My body feels good. It's mobile, it's awake, it's moving. So I want you to grip the club like this, and we're going to start to rotate. Pivoting on the feet. Look at my feet. So my lumbar spine isn't moving. My torso is moving as one solid unit. So I'm not doing any of this. This is all moving together. And I want us to pick up momentum, and eventually we're going to be doing this very quickly. So look at my feet. Now let's increase the range of motion. And whether you're a righty or a lefty, this is going to help. Now let's really pick up the pace. You stay within your comfort level of range of motion and speed. Let's do about 5 more. All right. Well done, everybody. We'll do a quick stretch and we'll wrap this up. So for the first one, we'll do a glute stretch using the club as a prop. Cross one leg over the other, sit back, tall posture, maintaining good posture while you feel a good stretch back here. Great, let's switch. Cross the leg over the other, sit back, good stretch back here. About 15 seconds. I'm not counting, but right around there. And let's get the front of the body. If you can, use the club, grab your foot, lean forward until you feel a good stretch in the front of the thigh. And let's switch. I like to always work in balance anywhere I can, even with stretching, as I am now, because it's so important, not just for golf, but for everyday life and any other sports or activities you do, and for avoiding injuries as we age. All right, well, there you go. That was a comprehensive, challenging, golf-specific workout for your whole body using just a golf club and some household items. We will continue to bring these during the COVID crisis, and we have got hundreds of new videos coming your way this summer, so stay tuned. Thanks for joining me today.